Bill 52 establishes that a contract for the initial sale or resale of a condo unit is not enforceable unless the contract of sale includes certain information about the presence of asbestos. There is one amendment to the bill, and the amendment alters a certain part about what a unit owner has to provide. They have to provide notice if they have actual knowledge of asbestos being in the actual unit as opposed to the condominium complex as a whole.
Move the amendment.
All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move the bill as amended.
Any questions? Mr. Vice Chair.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison.
Aye.
Delegate Wafo.
Aye.
Delegate Howard.
Aye.
Delegate Sharkoudian.
Aye.
Delegate Rose.
Aye.
Delegate Pruski.
Yes.
Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Turner.
Yes.
Delegate Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier-Hidalgo.
Aye.
Adams. Delegate Ernst. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Weibel. Delegate, what'd you say? Yes. Delegate Fisher. Excused. And Delegate Queen. Bill passes with amendments. Next bill, please.
House Bill 169 from Delegate Sharkoudian, Public Utilities, Energy Efficiency and Conservation Programs, Energy Performance Targets, and Low-Income Housing. This actually is basically House Bill 108 from last year. There is an amendment in your packet to conforming it to the cross-file, what the Senate has passed. Those amendments change a definition in the provision adding the Healthy and Green Task Force, and rather than directly requiring assistance for small and women-owned businesses, requires a study to see if a disparity study is required under CROSN for those units.
Move the amendment.
On the amendments, all in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, any discussion? Seeing none, Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Wafo.
Aye.
Delegate Howard.
No.
Delegate Sharkoudian.
Yes.
Delegate Rose.
No.
Delegate Pruski.
Yes.
Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Turner.
Yes.
Delegate Sample Hughes.
Yes.
Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi.
Aye.
Delegate Frazier-Hidalgo.
Aye.
Delegate Adams.
No.
Delegate Ernst. Delegate Pippy.
No.
Delegate Jackson.
Yes.
Delegate Johnson.
Aye.
Delegate Rogers.
Yes.
Delegate Amprey.
Aye.
Delegate Weibel.
No.
Delegate Fisher's excused, and Delegate Queen.
Yes.
Bill moves favorable as amended. Next bill.
Let me just get this
No worries.
entered. Okay. Okay. Delegate Harrison has a Bill 246. This was dealt with favorably in subcommittee. There is one amendment in your packet that reflects an additional tweak to what came out of the Alcoholic Beverages Subcommittee. This is the bill that expands the authority of a Class 4 limited winery license holder to serve food. It clarifies that they may prepare food as well as sell prepackaged goods. The additional amendment takes the current language saying prepackaged sandwiches or other prepackaged foods, and instead says sandwiches or other light fare. And the other thing is that if a license holder wants to offer more food than that, they have to get a Class B, Class D, or Class D beer and wine license, or the equivalent as determined by the local licensing board.
Move the amendment.
On the amendments, all in favor say aye. Any opposition?
Move the bill as amended.
Any opposition to this bill? Hearing no opposition, all in favor except for Delegate Fisher, who is excused.
Aye.
Next bill, please.
House Bill 258, as drafted, it specifies that an applicant for an alcoholic beverages license in Queen Anne's County is not required to be a resident of the county. There is now one amendment in your packet. We compiled the two that were in there the other day and make some technical corrections. So now the amendment in your packet, number 1, is technical. Amendment number 2 adds Caroline County to the bill and makes other conforming changes. The amendment also clarifies provisions related to the residency of an applicant and provides that at least one applicant must be a resident of the state during the duration of the license.
Move the amendment.
On the amendments, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition?
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, any opposition? Hearing none, with Delegate Fisher excused, all are in favorable. Next bill, please.
House Bill 282 alters
Next bill.
House Bill 282 alters provisions of law relating to the licensing of mortgage loan originators to generally require that the licensing of independent contractors as mortgage loan originators instead of mortgage lenders as required by law.
Favorable.
Any discussion on the bill? Delegate Aaron's.
I just caution people, the way I understand this bill and what I took from it, we're going to let a lot of people become mortgage originators. And this is part of the problem we ran back in 2008. We had a lot of people that didn't have a lot of experience and a lot of expertise, and a lot of things went wrong. And I think this bill, the way I read it, in the testimony primarily came from Rocket Mortgage, which is a national chain. So I'm going to be voting no on the bill. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Hearing none. On the bill is moving favorable. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison.
Aye.
Delegate Boafo.
Aye.
Delegate Howard.
Aye. No.
There you go. Delegate Charkoudian. Yes. Delegate Rose.
No.
Delegate Prusky.
Yes.
Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Turner.
Yes.
Delegate Sample Hughes.
Aye.
Delegate Valderrama.
Aye.
Delegate Chi.
Aye.
Delegate Frazier Hidalgo.
Aye.
Delegate Adams.
Yes.
Delegate Aaron's.
No.
Delegate Pippy.
No.
Delegate Jackson.
Yep.
Delegate Johnson.
Aye.
Delegate Rogers.
Yes.
Delegate Amprey.
Aye.
Delegate Weibel.
No.
Delegate Fisher is excused, and Delegate Queen.
Yes.
Bill passes. Next bill. Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair.
House Bill 301, move on favorable, withdrawn.
All in favor of the moving unfavorable withdrawn, say aye. Any opposition? Bill is unfavorable withdrawn. Next bill, please. You're fine. You're fine.
House Bill 505.
Wait 1 second. No worries. Go ahead.
House Bill 505 requires owners and lessees of elevators installed in newly privately owned single-family homes to register with the elevator with the Commissioner of Labor and Industry 60 days before the elevator is planned to be complete for a final acceptance inspection on the elevator. There is one amendment to the bill, and the amendment prohibits the Commissioner from disclosing to the public any information about registered elevators in privately owned homes, and requires the Commissioner to delete the registration upon completion of the final inspection.
Amendment.
On the amendments, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition?
Move the bill as amended.
I believe this contentious Delegate Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison.
Aye.
Delegate Boafo.
Aye.
Delegate Howard.
Yes.
Delegate Charkoudian.
Yes.
Delegate Rose.
I'm sorry, was this 505 still?
That's correct. House Bill 505, the motion is favorable with amendments.
Okay, no.
Delegate Prusky.
Yes.
Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Turner.
Yes.
Delegate Sample Hughes.
Aye.
Delegate Valderrama. Aye. Delegate Chi.
Aye.
Delegate Frazier Hidalgo.
Aye.
Delegate Adams.
No.
Delegate Aaron's.
No.
Delegate Pippy.
No.
Delegate Jackson.
Yes.
Delegate Johnson.
Aye.
Delegate Rogers.
Yes.
Delegate Amprey.
Aye.
Delegate Weibel.
No.
Delegate Fisher is excused, and Delegate Queen.
Yes.
Bill moves favorable. Next bill. House Bill 513.
House Bill 513 from Delegate Queen provides a correction to legislation passed a couple of years ago under Delegate Brooks's name, where we have a requirement for investor-owned utilities to pay prevailing wage for underground work. There is an amendment in your packet, and the amendment essentially says that the Department of Labor will find a prevailing wage rate applicable to this work. If it doesn't, by October 1st, they'll do a hand survey by December 1st to establish a prevailing wage for this kind of work. And it also has a safe harbor that those who were potentially liable for not following that prevailing wage have until March of 2024 to cure that situation.
Move the amendment.
On the amendments, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition?
Move the
Hearing
bills.
none.
Move the bills amended.
On the bill as amended, Mr. Vice Chair.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison.
Aye.
Delegate Boafo.
Aye.
Delegate Howard.
No.
Delegate Charkoudian.
Yes.
Delegate Rose.
No.
Delegate Pruski.
Yes.
Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Turner.
Yes.
Delegate Sample Hughes.
Aye.
Delegate Valderrama.
Aye.
Delegate Chi.
Aye.
Delegate Frazier Hildago.
Aye.
Delegate Adams.
No.
Delegate Aaron's.
No.
Delegate Pippy.
No.
Delegate Jackson.
Aye.
Delegate Johnson.
Aye.
Delegate Rogers.
Yes.
Delegate Amprey.
Aye.
Delegate Weigel.
No.
Delegate Fisher is excused, and Delegate Queen.
Yes.
Bill moves favorably. Next bill, please.
House Bill 548 establishes the Maryland Community Investment Venture Fund to develop opportunities for banking and credit unions to better serve the needs of low to moderate income areas. The bill also creates an assessment credit on banks and credit unions located in low to moderate income areas. There is one amendment to the bill, which even though it is 3 pages, is largely technical. The only substantive change that was made was to strike a provision that exempted them from procurement requirements.
On the amendments, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none. On the bill as amended. I believe this can be a toss-up. Delegate Crosby. Aye. Delegate Harrison. Aye. Delegate Boafo. Aye. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Yes. Delegate Fennell. Yes. Delegate Turner. Yes. Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hildago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Weigel. Delegate Fisher is excused, and Delegate Queen. Bill passes favorable with amendments. Next bill, please. Let me know when you're ready, bud. That's you.
House Bill 550. Number 1 is technical. Thank you. Amendment number 2 raises the annual ceiling of rebates that are offered under the program from $1.8 million to be $2.5 million. Amendment number 3 changes rebate limits from 40% of installed cost to be 50%, and with a cap of $5,000 rather than $4,000. It also adds some exceptions for the general provision that only 1 charger per individual is allowed under the program, and this is so that the administration, administration in this case means MEA, can provide some additional grants for properties in multifamily housing, planned urban developments, and condominiums where there are low and moderate income communities or overburdened or underserved communities in accordance with language which is adopted under the Climate Solutions Now Act from last year. Amendment number 5 makes sure, it clarifies that the medium-duty and heavy-duty zero-emission vehicle grant program applies only to vehicles and equipment that are intended for commercial or industrial use, requires that in issuing grants under that program, the administration will give preference to those vehicles that are expected to be used primarily and domiciled in the state, and are owned or operated by an entity engaged in business activity and impacts public health, the environment, or the infrastructure in an overburdened or underserved community, or zero-emission heavy equipment property that is expected to be used primarily at locations in the state. Increases significantly the maximum grant for both newly manufactured and converted heavy, medium, and heavy-duty vehicles and zero-emission heavy equipment property to 10 millions. Let's see, amendment number 6 goes into the source of funding, which is Strategic Energy Investment Fund, and actually restores what the bill originally would have carved out some CEF funds directly for zero and low emission vehicles, and instead primarily restores the language so that money that comes from RPS compliance fees will go back to being used for LMI communities and overburdened or underserved communities as under current law adopted by Climate Solutions Now Act.
Move the amendment.
On the amendment. On the amendments, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition?
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, Delegate Crosby,
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Aye. Delegate Buafo. Delegate Howard. No. Delegate Charkoudian.
Yes.
Delegate Rose.
No.
Delegate Pruski.
Yes.
Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Turner.
Yes.
Delegate Sample Hughes.
Aye.
Delegate Valderrama.
Aye.
Delegate Chi.
Aye.
Delegate Frazier Dago.
Aye.
Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson.
Yes.
Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher is excused, and Delegate Queen.
Yes.
Bill passes amended. Next bill, please.
House Bill 686 eliminates the requirement that each location of a non-depository financial institution license.
Brief indulgence, I believe it's House Bill 639.
Oh, I'm sorry.
House Bill 639 is another bill where we are secondary to ENT. This is a bill that amends current language on restrictions on use for solar collector systems. That previous language had gone purely through ENT and did not come through this committee. So whereas current law talks about an unreasonable limitation on the use of land for solar simply being significantly increasing cost of solar or significantly decreases the efficiency of the solar collector system. Instead, it provides some numbers, essentially. Restriction on use is unreasonable if the application to a particular proposal increases installation cost by more than 5% over projected cost, or reduces energy generation by at least 10%. The amendment simply provides an alternative certification for documentation by an independent solar panel design specialist.
Move the amendment.
On the amendments, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none.
Move the bill as amended.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison.
Aye.
Delegate Buafo.
Aye.
Delegate Howard. No. Delegate Charkoudian.
Yes.
Delegate Rose.
No.
Delegate Pruski.
Yes.
Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Turner.
Yes.
Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Dago.
Aye.
Delegate Adams.
No.
Delegate Aaron's. No. Delegate Pippy. No. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Yes. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher is excused, and Delegate Queen. Bill passes as amended. Next bill, please.
Okay.
House Bill
Now it's
689.
686.
Now,
Oops,
House Bill
686.
686 generally eliminates the requirement that each location of a non-depository financial institution licensed by the Office of the Commissioner of Financial Regulation obtain a separate license or registration, and instead institutes a new licensing process where they apply for one license. There are no amendments to the bill.
Move it favorable.
Is there any opposition to this bill? Hearing none, everybody present in favor. Delegate Fisher is excused. Next bill, please.
75 generally prohibits a person from selling a good or service that is designated as essential for a price that exceeds a specific threshold, and during and in some circumstances after a state of emergency. There are amendments to this bill, and the amendments strike the definition of essential goods and services and authorizes the governor to determine which goods and services are essential in the state of emergency, alters the allowable price percentage increase from 10% to 15%, authorizes a person to go above the allowable price percentage increase under certain circumstances, and strikes penalty language relating to a private cause of action.
Move the amendment.
On the amendments, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition?
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, any discussion? We does do a roll call. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Buafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Weigel. Delegate Fisher is excused. Delegate Queen. Bill moves amended. Thank you very much. Next bill, please.
House Bill 901 requires a business that offers an online product likely to be accessed by children to complete a data protection impact assessment of the online product. The bill also establishes numerous rules, procedures, and prohibitions related to the assessments and general business practices when relating to children online. There are amendments to this bill, and the amendments alter and add certain definitions, add factors that businesses must consider when determining whether an action is in the best interests of children, alters the date by which the provisions of the bill apply to online products, makes the violation of the bill an unfair, abusive, or deceptive trade practice, and makes various clarifying and technical changes.
Move the amendments.
On the amendments, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition?
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Charkoudian.
Yes.
Delegate Rose.
No.
Yes.
Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Delegate Valderrama.
Aye.
Delegate Frazier Hidalgo.
Aye.
Delegate Adams.
No.
Delegate Aaron.
No.
No, respectively. Respective. Yes. Aye. Yes. Aye. No.
Yes.
$9.69, Jesus. Yeah, we need food.
House Bill 969 from Delegate Chi. This is the one that requires PSC to obtain staff for cybersecurity, requires the commission to establish, in coordination with the Office of Security Management of the Department of Information Technology, certain cybersecurity standards and best practices for regulated entities, share information, and require reporting.
Favorable.
On the bill favorable, was there any opposition to this bill? Oh, I'm sorry. Do I need to do a roll call? There we go. We'll do a roll call. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison.
Aye.
Delegate Buafo.
Aye.
Delegate Howard.
Aye.
Delegate Charkoudian.
Yes.
Delegate Rose.
Yes.
Delegate Pruski.
Yes.
Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi.
Aye.
Delegate Frazier Hidalgo.
Aye.
Delegate Adams.
Yes.
Don't let Steve pull you down. Delegate Aaron's.
No.
There we go. Delegate Pippy.
No.
Ugh. Delegate Jackson.
Yes.
Delegate Johnson.
Aye.
Delegate Rogers.
Yes.
Delegate Amprey.
Aye.
Delegate Weibel.
No.
Delegate Fisher is excused. Delegate Queen.
Yes.
Bill moves favorably. Next bill, please.
House Bill 990, House Bill 990 establishes a Class B HTF beer and wine license in Frederick County to be issued to a hatchet throwing facility for on-premises consumption. There is one amendment to the bill, and the bill would,
Wait, which bill is this?
I don't have it on my sheet.
House
Okay.
Bill 990.
There is an amendment?
Mhm.
Okay. Keep going, apologize.
The amendment alters a license fee from $1,500 to $160.
Amendment.
On the amendments, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none.
Move the bill as amended.
And is there any opposition to this bill? Okay, so we'll do a roll call. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison.
Aye.
Delegate Buafo.
Aye.
Delegate Howard.
Yes.
Delegate Charkoudian.
Yes.
Delegate Rose.
Yes.
Delegate Pruski.
Yes.
Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Turner.
Yes.
Delegate Sample Hughes.
No.
Delegate Valderrama.
Aye.
Delegate Chi.
No. Oh, yes.
Delegate Frazier Hidalgo.
Yes.
Delegate Adams.
Yes.
Delegate Aaron's.
Aye.
Delegate Pippy.
Yes.
Delegate Jackson.
Yep.
Delegate Johnson.
Aye.
Delegate Rogers.
Yes.
Delegate Amprey.
Aye.
Delegate Weibel.
Yes.
Delegate Fisher is excused, and Delegate Queen.
Yes.
Bill moves favorable. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1000 from Delegate Wilson. This is the one that does some substantive updates to the Alcohol and Tobacco Commission. Primarily, the bill deals with the authority of the commission over its tobacco side of things. There are two sets of amendments. The first one was from ATC and was negotiated by them with the premium cigar folks. And what the amendments do on behalf of ATC is to make sure that it uses the same language in all three titles that deal with tobacco, other tobacco products, and vaping products, talking about failure of licensed premises to be used in accordance with proper zoning as determined by the local zoning unit. Make sure that's useful in all three. Also requires that premium cigars and pipes of tobacco are not subject to seizure without a warrant. The amendment also deals with disposal or destruction of contraband tobacco products. Finally, there's a separate amendment that authorizes requires the Governor's Office of Small, Minority, and Women in Business Affairs to contract with a third party to do a study on alcoholic beverages industry in the state, because that in particular is something that was done by legislation last year, but GOSPA basically dropped the ball. So this has a separate non-disparity study, but one that would point to the requirement for a disparity study.
Amendments?
All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition?
Move the bill as amended?
On the bill as amended, I guess we'll do a roll call. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison.
Aye.
Delegate Boafo.
Aye.
Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian.
Yes.
Delegate Rose.
No.
Delegate Pruski. Yes. Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Turner.
Yes.
Delegate Sample Hughes.
Aye.
Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi.
Aye.
Delegate Frazier Odago.
Aye.
Delegate Adams.
No.
Delegate Aaron's.
No.
Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson.
Yes.
Delegate Johnson.
Aye.
Delegate Rogers.
Yes.
Delegate Amprey.
Aye.
Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher is excused. Delegate Queen.
Yes.
Bill passes. Next bill.
House Bill 1011 provides that a substitute refrigerant allowed by the Environment Protection Unit may not be prohibited in the state or on the local level. There is one amendment, and the amendment specifies that no provision of the state building code or other law or regulation, except for a regulation issued by the Department of the Environment, may prohibit or otherwise limit the use of a refrigerant that is allowed by the EPA.
Is there any opposition to this bill as amended? Do I need a roll call? They don't care.
So the motion, sir, is?
The motion was favorable as amended. All were in favorable except for Delegate Fisher, who was excused. All were in favorable as the motion. The motion was moved favorable as amended, and everyone was a yes except for Fisher, who was excused. Oh, I probably said it the other way around. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So it's favorable with amendments,
Yep, all in favorable is,
21.
yep. Next bill.
Next bill from Delegate Wilson. Again, this is a much longer Alcohol and Tobacco Commission bill. However, it's only making technical corrections and clarifications. There are no amendments.
Move favorable.
Is there any opposition to this bill? Do we need to do a roll call? All present are in favorable as this bill is amended. Delegate Fisher is excused. Next bill, please. And your
House
time.
Bill 1214 from Delegate Stein. This is the one that says that if you're going to market something as being green power of certain varieties, that you have to have a certain disclosure. There's an amendment in your packet from the chair of ECM that simply says, essentially says you have to disclose the fact that you're getting RECs rather than electrons that are painted green. It does not limit that disclosure only to those that are solar, wind, or things that are not burnt. So it's all tier 1 sources.
And it does strike the, be clear, the amendment, if I remember the bill correctly, there was the issue with Rex and all that.
It simply, makes sure that it discloses that they're using RECs as opposed to buying an actual contract for electrons.
All right, move the amendment.
On the amendment or on the bill? Go ahead, it's on the
Yeah,
amendment.
let me just actually, if you don't mind, bring up the reprint of that. Okay. Hello, computer, thank you. All right, so what the bill did as it came in was to say that electricity suppliers have to purchase RECs in accordance with subsection C, and if it is from, if those RECs are generated from one or more tier 1 sources, which would be solar, wind, essentially non-burning types, and have to be located in PJM or outside PJM if it's directly delivered in. All this will say with the amendment is to say electricity shall have to essentially purchase RECs, which they have to do anyway. And if it claims that it's green power, they have to say, if you purchase this energy plan, you're agreeing to purchase local utility distribution grid electricity that's paired with RECs in an amount sufficient to match the percentage of green power electricity in your contract.
I guess my, sorry.
So it's not limiting it to those particular sources that are non-combusting.
So I understand it changes the sources. Does it change the location? Is it PJM only still, or
No.
is it, so they could buy RECs from Washington
Well,
State?
they not from Washington State, because under the RPS program, they actually they can only apply those RECs that are from within roughly 1/3 of the country, PJM plus the surrounding states.
But right now, they can buy them from anywhere they want, so this would change that, so it could,
I'd have to double check that.
Wait,
okay, but this would be RECs from PJM?
because the goal was really just to make this a public consumer protection bill and not change anything else. That was the goal with my amendment. It
Yeah, I
was
understand that.
just to make sure people couldn't use what we sounded like false advertisement. That's why I
Right,
was
so
hoping to amend.
basically the disclosure makes sure that people know that they're buying RECs, they're not buying, there's no direct supply contract.
Got it, but I
Right.
guess regardless of what we misunderstand or understand, what I misunderstood or understand the previous bill, going forward with these amendments, it would just be PJM RECs that would count, is that right?
Correct.
So it would be the same as our RPS, everything in our
Yeah.
RPS would count, everything, okay, I'm good, thank you.
What I intended at this point, or we need to
I
go
believe,
ahead?
there's no problem holding it.
Okay, let's hold it then.
Yeah.
We'll hold it.
Hold it
No,
to
no,
take a look at.
no, you stopped it, you stopped it, we're good. And meaning, I want to make sure it's doing what my intention was, not. Okay, guys, I believe that's all. Everybody, please go get lunch. I know you're hungry. See you guys at 3:30. Okay.